All right, so next week, we're going to, I guess we get to say this week because that's when I'm going to upload it. So this is a video for the first week of September, which is September 2nd through the 5th. So this has to do with the character history essay that we are getting into. And I want to talk a little bit about this example that we're going to do. So let me go ahead and share my screen and let me uh, get into the screen that I want. I'm going to get into the character history discussion list. I'm going to go ahead and view as a student. And again, I want to talk a little bit about Wednesday Addams here as our example, and then what I would like for students to do. So I'm going to try to make this a quick video so it's not, not incredibly long. So let me share my screen. I have our discussions here. Here's share. So here is our character history discussions. Of course, I'm under 14, but it's the same if you're in 06. So you just go to discussions and then character history discussions. So discussions and character history discussions. And this is week 3, September 2 through 6. And so what I would like for us to do, I would like for us to choose one of these topics, right? And each topic has 2 to 3 links in them. So here's one for Cobra Kai. Click on the 2 links, watch the YouTube videos, choose one character from the scenes, and discuss the similarities and differences in the characters from the scenes only. And what these examples, so I have Cobra Kai, and then there's the movie Creed. Here's from Wednesday. That's what I'm going to open here in just a moment. Here's Top Gun, Barbie, Willy Wonka, Ghostbusters, and then Cruella. So I have a whole lot to choose from. And there's even more because, Disney redoes movies to make them live and all that, which is great. But just choose one. You don't have to do every single one of these. So please do not try to do every single one of these. Just choose whichever one you have seen, whichever one that you like. And if there's none of these that you've seen or like, then, we might be able to load one or just watch these. I can show you which ones don't have any bad language or whatever in them. If I know I definitely don't like to watch movies with poor language and things like that. So if that's you also, then let me know and I can tell you which one. Anyway, so let's move on. So you just choose one. Say, hey, I watched Cobra Kai. I'm going to do the Cobra Kai one. Or, hey, I really like Creed. So I'm going to do the one with the movie Creed. Or maybe you like Wednesday and we're going to do the one with Wednesday. And even the one that I talk about, you are welcome to do also. So, all right. So I'm going to do the Wednesday Addams one. Now, I'm not going to watch these videos. I'm just going to talk about them. One, because I like to upload this to YouTube and it might ban it, but 2, because the videos are kind of long. If you notice, this is supposed to take you a couple of days, a couple of class periods to do. This is supposed to take up to 120 minutes to complete. So this is kind of the beginning of the week. We do the character history and then we do the textbook discussion in the week also. So those 2 are the things that we're doing September 2 through 6. We are doing the character history discussion and the textbook discussion. All right, so if we go to Wednesday Addams, so click on the 3 links, watch the YouTube videos, choose one character from the 3 scenes. Of course, I'm going to talk about Wednesday and discuss the similarities and differences in the character from these scenes only. All right, so I can watch this YouTube video. And I don't know if it moves with me, so I'm just going to watch a second of it. So we're going to
Braden
get
has
through the ad.
amazed me. He's so strong.
All right, let me pause it. All right, so again, I'm not going to watch all these videos with you. I'm just going to share it with you a little bit. So in here we have the old black and white from the 50s. And this was like a big deal back then, by the way. There's been articles written. There's the reason why I chose this is because we have this cute little girl and she's teaching her butler or whatever. She's teaching him how to dance, right? So she's dancing and she's cute and she's in black and she's smiling and she's teaching them how to dance. And so so I would just, how has she changed? Why is she so different from then? Or just how, right? And this was a big deal because that was stepping out of the norm. Like, make sure I'm actually, yeah, here I am recording. They were stepping out of the norm. They were doing what's not always so normal for families back then, right? Because little girls dancing and things like that. That was not normal for families back then. So the culture had a lot to do with it. This is not comp two, so we don't have to talk about the culture and whatnot. But I would just jot down, she's little, it's in black and white, she's dancing, she's smiling, she's cute, right? And just I would jot down some things going on only about Wednesday Addams in this scene. I don't have to sit and talk about Lurch and all that. I don't have to go into any other detail. I can just focus on only Wednesday Addams. And she looks like she's about 4 or 5 here, maybe a little older. It's hard to tell, but she's pretty young in this scene. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about Wednesday Addams, right? And then I'm going to come over. And now we have the Addams Family values. Put my phone over here because it's making a funny noise on my computer. Now I have the Addams Family values, and we're gonna.
Yes, indeed.
And then we're just gonna watch where she smiles because that's kind of funny. I'm gonna fast forward until she smiles and she comes out. And they're like, "Mom, she's scaring me." I think it's right here.
Good evening.
And she says, "I want to dance," and all that. So I'm gonna pause that. All right. And so again, let's look at, now we have Wednesday and she is an older child. Let me share my screen. Now we have Wednesday and she's an older child here. And I'll go ahead and play this.
I'm not perfect. That's for damn sure,
Sorry,
but I want to.
forget that she cussed there.
You do?
I want to smile and sing and dance and be Pocahontas in Gary's vision. Oh, darling, do you really mean that?
Now here's where she smiles. I think it's kind of funny. It's funny. All right, there's her maniacal smile. Anyway, and so now we have, exit out of that. Escape. Now we have this older child, Wednesday Addams, who is smiling and saying that she wants to dance and whatnot. Now, if you don't follow Wednesday, then this wouldn't be one that I would talk about. This is just one that it's the one that I brought in because I know the history. I know the history behind the dance scene in the Wednesday Addams show and the history behind the 1950s. Anyway, I just kind of know a little bit of the history there. And where did I didn't exit out of my class, did I? I'm going to pause this recording because I think I exited out of the class. All right, now we have the last Wednesday and this dance scene from the Wednesday Netflix TV show. I'll give it just a moment to play. Think that'll work. So again, if you're familiar with Wednesday, we can talk about how has she changed from going from a child to a teenager, right? How has when now they tried to do this thing where like she was an adult during the TV. I only want to bring in what was actually popular with viewers. So it's just an essay that went from how did Wednesday go from a child to a teenager? And all that we're doing is writing. We're really just practicing how to write an essay. Right? Let me exit out of this. We're really just practicing how to write an essay. How to form a thesis statement, how to make a point and support that point, how to structure our essay. What I would like to focus on with this character history essay is just that, how to write an essay, how to structure, how to outline. So the content, you can just have fun with the content with this very first essay. You can have fun with, I want to hone in on using specific examples. So there's a lot of academic stuff that we're covering, you know, using specific examples, outlining an essay, having academic diction, you know, that word choice. We want to make sure that's very academic. All those things are what we're covering. So you can have some fun with what you want to say about Wednesday, going from a young child to Wednesday up to a teenager. You can have some fun with what you want to say about Creed, what you want to say, or even SpongeBob. A lot of students write about SpongeBob in this essay. Or if you're an international student, you know, you can bring in a character or a character type who's just been in culture for quite some time, from at least the 1990s until now. So in the 1990s until 2024, you know, until now, how has that culture, how has that character stayed the same? So compare and contrast, or it's just an essay that tells me how did this character change and stay the same throughout these generations. That's it. So just have some fun with the content, and have some fun with the content and practice outlining an essay. Practice, and I'm going to make another video with that. I just don't want to make, well, I don't want to put too much in one video, but I'll have another video that talks about outlining an essay. But for this discussion board, I'm just going to come over here. I don't think I'm viewing as a student anymore, but for this discussion board, I'm just going to click on Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and start my thread and I'm going to go ahead and pause it, and then I'll show you what I write in my thread. So then we can have an example thread. All right, so I wrote a response, and I want to share a little bit. So I have a pretty longer response here. And so let's not have just a quick, they went from this to this to this, and I did my 2 sentences and I'm done. Let's make sure that we're taking that time to really practice. And let's make sure we're taking that time to really practice writing from 3 different scenes, 2 or 3 different scenes, right? Mine has 3 different scenes, but make sure that we're writing from 3 different scenes here. So I have Wednesday, Adam, we know today is solemn and stoic. So I started with today, and then I'm going to go back, and that's fine because most of us are familiar with the person or the character from today. She is a deep thinker who does not smile. However, when she started as a child in the black and white television show, she was a cute child who went against the norms of society. So now I'm going to go into these particular scenes. This is why she first taught Lurch to dance. However, her smiling and I want to dance scene from the 1994 movie reveals that she's more gothic and detached. By 2023, we meet a more authentic, self-loving Wednesday who does not mind demonstrating her odd moves in the contribute to the original television show. So here's more like a thesis statement that you can practice going from scene to scene, how they have changed. Wednesday went from a cute, smiling, and dancing child in the 1950s to an ostracized preteen in the 90s who became aware of her faults, though she is a narcissistic teenager in the 2020s. And so there's that more like a thesis statement that I would write for my essay, and I will carry that over into a post on a different post. So let's just again. So there's my example. I just wanted to show an example from Wednesday. You're more than welcome to look at it and watch those shows. And you're more than welcome to start a thread of your own using these scenes from Wednesday. But it's really important that, let me go back to our discussion. It's really important that you are being specific. That's probably the main, okay, good, I am using as a student. That's the most important aspect to this point, is that if you choose Cobra Kai, we're not just talking about Cobra Kai in general. We're choosing one particular person who is in both of these scenes and talking about the growth of that person. How has that person changed or stayed the same? Same thing with Creed. Choose these scenes. It can either be Rocky Balboa or it can be Creed's father going into Creed. You know, how is this person changed, right? There's Wednesday, there's Top Gun. Top Gun has 2. Barbie has 3. Barbie is a little bit different. I put the original commercial, and that's perfectly fine because he doesn't have a cartoon until it was like The Princess and the Pauper or something was the first cartoon. Anyway, so here's the original 1959 commercial for Barbie because it's singing, "I want to be like Barbie." And so there's Barbie. So choose all 3 and talk about Barbie from that one. There's 3 for Willy Wonka. There's 2 for Ghostbusters, and you can add a scene too. So if you want to do Ghostbusters, but you want to bring in another scene, you can do that. There's Cruella. So there's a lot going on there. So for this discussion this week, this should take you 2 class periods. So be sure that we are taking 2 class periods to fully watch these, get an idea of the character, jot some things down about the character, and then write a response about the character. So if it shows that you didn't go into that discussion, then you don't get your discussion points. So be sure that you are, again, taking that time to do the discussion. All right, let me know if you have any questions. We have 2 discussion boards. There's that one. We go to this one really quickly. Let me share my screen. So once we go to this one, let's make sure that we're going to the textbook discussion. So you have another one, right? And here's this one. What's the subject of your idea? What's the purpose of your idea? And who is the audience for your idea, right? So that's when we start looking at, well, now I know what I want to write about. Now I'm going to look at the subject, the purpose, and the audience of my idea. So you can start a discussion there, but make sure that you're honing in on this discussion, right? Make sure that you're taking your time with this discussion and use those specific examples from those scenes, not this broad overall idea. All right, so get those 2 things done from September 2 through 6. Take a lot of time doing this one and then hop over onto the textbook discussion board, and we will start outlining it the week after. Let me know if you have any questions.